host, and she goes by the name of Amber E. Amber is I'm going to introduce her before she talks. So, Amber has been one of my best friends since high school. And I initially was not her best friend when I got to high school. She was just a girl that I just knew. And then once we got to like maybe junior year, I want to say, of high school, and we started thinking about college, we kind of came together because we were like, hey, we are like-minded. We have similar goals. And we started hanging out more because we were applying to a lot of the same colleges and going through the same process together. And looky here, about a good 10 years later, she's still my wifey, and everything's going great. So I would like to introduce you to the wonderful Amber. Say hello.
Hey y'all, I'm glad to be here. Friend of the podcast, mentioned sometimes.
Mm-hmm. She
Glad
is
to be a part of
mentioned.
the conversation.
She's finally a part of the conversation. I've given her shout outs, I feel like, in like 2 or 3, and I've only had 4 episodes. So
But it's all good things though.
I'm telling you, a lot of the conversations I have literally with her and Taylor is the reason why I wanted to do this. Is I was like, we have some great conversations. We just do. We just do. And I feel like they are truly the intellectual conversations you have with your homegirl. So if you don't have homegirls you can have like intellectual hood conversations with, make sure you continue listening to this podcast because we bring it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Amber, talk a little bit about your hobbies and what you do. Let's learn a little bit about Amber before we get into this.
Okay, well, I am a visual artist and I also like doing like little home design projects. So I'm always like painting my house and like just kind of painting generally. So I've
Mhm.
been doing a lot of like digital artwork. I'm working on a t-shirt line right now, just about like my journey with just a recent relationship ending and then just like my journey as a black woman, living with a physical difference, things like that. So I like having good conversations. I like to laugh. I like hood foods and good foods. And I just started working on like a hair and skincare line. So stay tuned for all that good stuff.
She has a lot of good stuff. She named a lot. She is a really good artist. And I will link her Instagram in the show notes so you can go follow her Instagram. I think she still has an art Instagram. I'm not 100% sure if it's active, but
Right.
she
Under construction.
under construction, but she is a wonderful artist. And I'm excited about her t-shirt line. So you'll definitely hear like little phrases she says throughout this episode. And she comes up with
hmm
some good phrases, I'm gonna tell you. And she comes up with them so quickly. And I don't know how, but they're really good and they're gonna be on the t-shirt. So that is good. Also, quick funny story about Amber and I's early relationship. This is when we weren't really friends. This will tell you what kind of person I was in high school.
hmm
She
It's still there.
I did not know who she was. I mean I knew who she was. We knew each other throughout high school. Of course, our high school was really small. Our graduating class was 62 students, I want to say. And it was around 62. I just looked at my transcript.
Girl, I thought it was 93,
No, it was not, girl.
but girl,
Small.
people are really gonna be in your comments.
They don't say, first of all, I graduated with you.
First of all,
But no, our
it
school
might have
was
been.
still pretty. It was less than 75 students in
Yeah.
our class, our graduating class. And Amber mentioned her physical indifference, so she has a little arm. So I literally told everyone that I encountered that Amber's arm had got bitten off by a shark when she was younger. That's the reason she didn't have a
Girl.
arm. So of course that made it back to her because people were like, "Yo, Amber, did your arm get bitten off by a shark?"
But I
Because
didn't know that you said it. And you let somebody else go down for it.
yes, and she didn't know I said it until like years later.
I just feel like we honestly became friends from being around each other in the same places constantly. So
Mm,
we were in honors classes together. Like we would always come in the classroom and then see each other. We
mhm.
would be stanky a little bit. And then we would sit in the same spot.
Wait, what?
You were
Um,
following me.
I don't know if it would be me following you, but definitely
You were following me.
We were forced to become friends, but it all worked out in the end, right?
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah. So today, Amber and I are going to talk about something that we've been kind of talking about for a couple months now. Once I got out of my last long-term relationship and started dating around more, we of course would, and she also got out of a long-term relationship and she started dating around. And we would discuss these situations with each other, and we just came to identify a few things, a few red flags in our situation. So today we're going to be talking about the fact that men feel like they own women, regardless of the situation. So, Amber, when I give you the word ownership, what do you think about?
The first thing that really comes to mind for me is like territory, property, some kind of like investment, or something that you have rights to, something that you feel like entitled to, like it's yours.
I love all those words you use. So, sort of like, I own my house. You own your house. We are home owners. We invested in it, and it's our territory. So, Amber, let's say,
So you're
so
gonna ask it again.
Amber, yeah, I'm gonna edit that out. Okay. So, Amber, what do you think about when I say the word ownership?
So the first thing that comes to mind when I hear ownership is property. I think about territory, investment, something that you have rights to, paperwork
Mhm.
for, and then just something that you have a sense of entitlement over.
So, you're
Or
literally talking about the homes that we own, right?
yeah, or any kind of property. Like I wouldn't I would speak
I
about
feel
it.
like you were talking about our house. Like, I feel like you were talking about, this is my house, this is my territory, my property,
Yeah.
investment.
Any objects, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
really objectified. So like I
So
wouldn't talk
objective.
about a person, like this,
Okay.
or even a pet. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel.
No, I don't even say I mean, I own Pierre. I am his owner in that sense, but
But you don't even say that. You say you're his mom.
I do say I'm his mom, but Pierre also do whatever he wants to do.
Girl, he need to be
But
on a podcast, mate.
he really needs his own episode about how to be a strong black independent dog.
Mixed race.
he it depends. Is he still mixed race? I don't know. That's another subject. We'll talk about whether or not Pierre is still mixed race on another episode.
Tune in next time.
Okay, so what about ownership over women?
I'm glad that you used the word over because I feel like it's very hierarchical, and extremely problematic. So I feel like a lot of times when I hear this phrase, it's used to like position women in a lower position within a society or a
Mm-hmm.
conversation or a situation. And I definitely feel like it's something that contributes to violence and rape culture. So I don't like that.
I love everything you said. So, just thinking about the times that we've been in these situations, because of course I know your story, you know my story, but listeners
Right.
don't. Why do you feel like men feel like they own women? Like, why? And of course, I know we can obviously refer to like the social constructs and the way things are, but
Yeah.
do you think there's another reason, or is it literally like this is just the way it is?
I think that there's like a multitude of reasons, and I don't feel like every man is like this. I just feel like society has been like positioned to be so patriarchal. Like, so we can look at it from like a religious standpoint, we can look at it from a financial standpoint. It's just that men have always been put in this position of like being like saviors and providers for women. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot of where it comes from. And so
Mm-hmm.
even now in society, if a man can't provide or he's not even in those positions, he still feels entitled to having those same feelings about women. Like I feel like society has conditioned men, and especially like in the black community, black men to feel like they're like this asset, this blessing to black women, which they are, but not in so much so in a way that they should feel like they have entitlement or ownership over us or to us.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, as far as like men, I definitely feel like men should be the provider and the protector. Like when I get married, I want my husband to be that, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to also come with him feeling like he owns me. And
Yeah.
well, and I mean, like literally, like marriage was based in this is your person, you own her, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going through a divorce right now, and I just I just realized it in the conversations that I've had with so many people. It's just that women are expected to like give up their name and like give up their bodies and
I
you
hate it.
know be. It's just like there's so many sacrifices, and it was never really appealing to me to be married. Like I never was just very pressed about being married in a lot of ways, but then like I just realized how much it's like even if you're a really independent woman, people expect you to kind of like conform and assimilate into this like mother role, whatever that means. Like,
Mm.
just be up under your man and let your man guide you. But it's like, what if I'm the one with the map? What if I'm the one who knows the land the best? It doesn't really matter. Like people think just for principles reasons and for like to coax the male ego that you should take that back seat.
It
And
is.
what am I getting out of marriage?
You know what?
Like
Male egos are definitely, and I'm men. If you're listening,
we
I
love y'all.
we love you. I don't hate men. I love men, but I mean, they're problematic traits of men, just like there are problematic traits of women. But this
Hmm.
episode just happens to be about problematic traits of men. That's all. It's nothing. It's nothing more, nothing less, really. But yo, that last name thing triggers me. It's triggered me since I was younger, like literally a
Yeah.
child. I would tell my mom like, I want my husband to take my last name. And then as I got older, I was like, okay, like he doesn't have to take my last name, like, but I will take his last name, but I'm gonna hyphenate it because
Hmm.
I just don't want to get rid of everything, especially like if I went on to go get my doctorates, like I I'm using my birth last name.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree. So we are going to, I guess, get into talking about times when men felt like they owned us individually, and then we'll kind of
Yeah.
dissect those. So do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Um, I think you should go first.
Okay, awesome. I truly was not expecting that at all. I want to say I'm really surprised, and
I didn't know I had a choice. I thought I was gonna have to go first anyway.
I wanted you to go first, but I'll go first. So I guess the time a man felt like he owned me was when I was dating. I was not in a relationship with this man. I just want to clarify that I was dating this man. So we met on a dating app, and that was my first time like trying dating apps, going out with someone from the dating app. So it started off good. Like we the first time we met, like there was a little bit of a spark, but I wouldn't say it was like big time sparks from me. I will honestly say that. And I knew that throughout the entire situation, but I was like, no, I'm gonna keep trying. So we hung out, like we dated for like a solid like 2 months, and then I took him to like meet my friends. My friend was throwing this birthday party. We all met at her house and we pre-gamed and we were going out afterwards. And I brought him to that with me. And I was already having doubts about him before that. Well, it's not even really doubts about him, more so doubts about how I felt about him. And he came to this party with me, and that definitely solidified all of my doubts. So I saw him drunk for the first time, really. I saw him in a club. I saw him around other people, like we were by ourselves all the time. And I think it's very important to see people in different environments before you decide to commit to anyone or,
Definitely.
take the next step with them. Take them in different environments, see who they are. So when I saw him like that, I was like, no, I I shan't move forward with this. So it was literally like a couple days after that, I talked to him. And I mean, of course, he felt like he met my friend. So he felt like, oh, we're on the right track because girls, the stereotype around women is if she introduces you to her friends, she really likes you or something like that. But I
That's
don't
so
roll
dumb
that
because
way.
I'm bringing all my side niggas to the house.
Yeah, like I don't want to just keep hanging out with you. Like I want to hang out with other people too in you. But he
Mhm.
definitely felt like he was like moving towards a relationship with me and I had to stop it. So I was like, hey, and I told him I was honest at first. I was just like, hey, like I'm really not feeling this anymore. I don't feel a spark between us. And he was so stuck on the fact that there was not a spark between us. And he told me, let's wait it out. Like he wouldn't let me break up with him essentially. And I was like, this is really weird because I ended it with you. And I remember I called Amber, I called Taylor. I was like, I told him it's over, but he won't let me break up with him. And I think the same thing happened with you, Amber. So he was like, hey, let's meet up and eat and talk.
Mm.
Me being I went to go eat with them. I knew I didn't want to, but I went to go eat because he let me choose the place.
You just
And
want to get out the house.
I just wanted to get out of the house. He let me choose the place, and I was like, cool. So we went to go eat, and I felt nothing towards him as I was sitting across from him, but I can tell that he really was like, let's make this work. And I was like, and I'm telling y'all, we were not in a relationship. I'm gonna tell y'all one more time, we were not in a relationship of any sort. It was still very much getting to know each other. So eventually, like I had to tell him again, but this time I felt, so this is where it got problematic. I felt like I had to lie to him. And this happens a lot with, at least in my life, like you feel like you have to lie to men or exaggerate your situation just to get them to leave you alone. So I was like, hey, like my ex-boyfriend reached out to me and we think we want to like work on it. Complete lie. And he was like, no, like you are just letting him win the situation. You need to work on yourself. You don't need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he tried to be my friend still and walk through the situation with me. He was like, Quenisha, I want to hold your hand. I want to do this with you. And I was like, I literally just don't want to talk to you anymore. So eventually, like, I think I forgot what I did to like break up with him for the last time. I was like, I was just like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, I feel like that's what happened. I just got fed up. So I was just like, okay, like I've been trying to be nice. So again, appeasing his ego, trying to not make him feel as bad. But I was just like, okay, like, no, it's over. Like, stop. So I blocked him on Instagram, blocked his number, and I think that's the only place I blocked him. Do y'all know he ended up adding me on Facebook after that? And I was like, this is not what you're supposed to do after you break up with someone. So
Only
after
somebody
he,
asked you for boundaries.
right? Boundaries. But he added me on Facebook after we broke up. So then after he added me on Facebook, I blocked him. He sent me 2 emails after the breakup. There was one like just I think there was one in the beginning of December, and then there was one literally on Christmas Eve. And he was just like, hey, I hope you're doing well, yada, yada, yada. But I was just I ignored all those emails, of course, but the entire thing triggered me because he just wouldn't let go of the entire thing. And in my eyes, it was not that serious because, again, I felt like I defined our boundaries pretty clearly, like we were dating. But he even told me, like, in the process of us breaking up, like, I thought we were falling in love. And I was like,
Oh, Jesus.
you were falling in love. And that's strange because you don't even know me. You literally don't know me. So how could you? So yeah, that's my story about a man feeling like he had ownership over me, even though I told him multiple times and even had to lie to get out of it, and he still would not let me out of it. And also, it was also very frightening. I will add this as well because he was trained by the military and he was a police officer. So I was kind of afraid too because like you never know what people are doing. I don't know about y'all. I was raised on Lifetime, Unsolved Mysteries, Snap. That's what my mama
Yep.
gave me. That's what my mama fed me as I was younger. So I was like, this is what men are capable of. Even though Snap is about women, but still, I was raised on Lifetime movies, and I just literally didn't know. I remember showing one of my coworkers an email he sent me, and I was like, "What?" And literally, the first thing my coworker asked me was, "Do you own a gun?" And I was like,
Mm.
did this, like, as a man reading another man's email, like that's what he thought I needed? He was like, "Nah, like he
That's
sounds crazy."
terrifying.
Yeah, so it got to that point. So yeah, Amber, we're ready for you now.
Okay, so my situation is kind of similar, but a little bit different. So I was actually approached by a close friend of mine that I've been friends with for a very, very long time. And he approached me during a time where I was just in a very vulnerable place. He was like, "Hey, I know we've been out as friends, but I think, whenever you're ready, you should let me plan a date night or whatever, and we could just like have a real official date." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I waited a few months. I just wanted to take care of myself, and I wasn't really ready to date, but I decided to use this as a safe space because I thought this would be like a safe space to just, test something out, like, and just kind of feel my way through a situation because I was like coming out of a really long, well, it's still in the midst of a really tumultuous situation. So from the beginning, it just was not working. It was bad. Like we would be cool, but then we would just argue basically like every week or every other week. And it would just be like real arguments to make me know that he just didn't understand and kind of couldn't meet me where I was because I'm just like a very esoteric type of person. So he just couldn't meet me in the spot that I was in. And I remember we had a mutual friend who actually was trying to mediate the situation between us and kind of trying to like offer him, tips and stuff. But from very early on, I was just like, I really don't think I'm a good fit for you. Like, this is a good fit. And I just was really kind of trying to push him to just explore different things. But he had his mind made up that he just wanted to be me and like that I was kind of the reason why I wasn't working. He just told me like I wasn't patient enough and I didn't listen enough. And he would kind of just like try to gaslight me and just like tell me that I really didn't know what was best. Like there were a few
Oh,
times.
I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that. Same thing over here.
Yeah. I wrote that down when I heard you talking. Like it's very I'm trying to find the right word to say. Like it's very disheartening. It's like it's violent too when you're telling somebody that you know what's best for them more so than they do. Like that's a problem for me. That's a sense of entitlement in itself that you feel like you can speak and you can tell me what my needs are, what my wants are, what a better fit is for me if I'm telling you explicitly what is not working.
Thank you. Two snaps. Two snaps for Amber. One, two.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we ended up talking for like probably the same amount of time. I think he asked me to be his girlfriend, which probably lasted for like a day or two. And I was just like, you know what? You need to go find you a girlfriend to practice with. Like, you need to find you somebody because it's not me. Like, I'm not even emotionally available. Like, I was very real, very honest. I'm very upfront because I don't like to mismanage people's emotions. And so I try to make sure I'm doing the same thing for another person. And so it just eventually, like, we had some nice, maybe like two dates that were cool in between, but for the most part, we didn't see each other a lot. We were talking on the phone, and it was just like a hit or miss type of situation. So when a few months later down the road, he just got to a point where he was just like, if you're going to end this, then you need to end it. And he just kept saying that, just throwing that back at me. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's dead this. And he blew up on me and was like, no. And I was like, no, like, this isn't a conversation. Like, you can't tell me, especially after egging this on for so long, you can't tell me when it's going to stop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is over with. And he's just like, well, you never wanted to work. This was a waste of time. Like, you really just played me and all this stuff, just mismanaged my expectations and all this stuff he never went. Like, he just really went full throttle on me. And I was like, cool, like, I don't have time for this anyway. Like, and I really tried to approach it in a way to be polite to his feelings the same way Quenisha did, but it just didn't work for me. So we didn't talk for a few months. I tried to give him time to move on, and he just kept coming back with his feelings, similar to the way that your guy did. He kept coming back to me, kept trying to talk to me, and I would talk to our mutual friends, and everybody would just be like, "It's not that serious. I don't know why he won't move on." But another problem that I encountered in the situation is that men will be transparent with women, but they won't tell the truth to their friends if they feel like it's going to hurt their ego or hurt their feelings. And
Yeah.
so that in itself too is problematic, because if you know that your friend has created in their mind this illusion, or like is putting all their feelings in a situation where very clearly it wasn't like that, give them a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting this man think that his feelings are justified when a woman has told him no. And that's just not right. And so we ended up having another big blowout. After we had like a game night at my house, he came over to get his stuff, and I told him, if you want to chill, because we had been cool for a minute, like, just, he was trying to be friendly or play the friend card with me, and it was just like, it seemed all right. So we had he came over to get his stuff, and then he left his wallet, which Kui said was like a kind of like a manipulation trip, because I had to take
No
his
man
wallet to
leaves
him
their
the next
wallet behind.
day.
No man.
Yeah. So I took his wallet to him the next day, and my best friend was with me, who lives with me, and she was just like, "Oh, we should all have a game night." So I was like, "I ain't really trying to do that, but if we're gonna do that, then he needs to invite one of his friends too, so it'll be like four of us. It'll be
Yeah.
balanced." So we had a game night. It was really fun. His friend came, and we all know each other, so it was just cool. We were just kicking it, and so his friend was really, really funny, and we all end up exchanging numbers. So during that time, he started, like, that weekend especially, he just started making me very uncomfortable. Um, much like he had been doing over the past few months. He was texting me about his feelings. During game night, he asked if he could come upstairs to my room. Like, it was just a lot of things. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just said, for once and for all, I'm going to have this conversation, and I can't be his friend. And so I spoke to our mutual male friends, and they were just like, just ignore him, just ghost him. Like, you don't need to talk to him. And I was like, no, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be polite, because I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. So I called him to have this conversation, and he was really cool at first, but I told him, like, I can't be your friend anymore because you don't respect my boundaries. And so once I said that, it was like he flipped the switch. He was pissed. He got loud with me. He started getting a little aggressive, just like, telling me he couldn't believe I called his phone like that, just going a little wild. And I was like, this isn't even a conversation. Like, I'm giving you a heads up that I'm not going to talk to you anymore, and that's what this is. Like, and he just told me, like, basically, you act like a nigga. And I used to like that about you. That's why we're friends. But I don't like it, because, like, you're acting like a nigga who's not shit. Like, you really mismanaged my emotions. Like, you led me on. And I was like, how? I've been telling you I don't want to be with you. I've been telling you, like, this isn't working for me. I didn't shake my ass in your face when you came over here. Like, I didn't, like, I'm telling you explicitly, I don't want this. We even talked about
Yeah.
dating other people. So it's like, you made up in your mind that this is something that you didn't want to do. And he's like, well, you shouldn't have invited me, to stay longer and spend time with you. And I'm like, he's like, I knew I should have left. I said, well, you should have left then, because if you aren't at an emotional capacity to deal with certain things, you're responsible for your feelings. If I go back and I had sex with my ex-husband,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's gonna be like, girl, why did that man let you have sex with him? He is a dirtbag. They're gonna be like, silly girl.
That's true. They are going to place all the blame on you. And when I guess, like, in our situations, like with us being women, trying to be honest with men about our feelings, and it's not the same. What am I trying to say? They don't align with the men's feelings, right? Our feelings
Yeah.
don't align with men's feelings. So
Right.
it's like, how could you? Are you stupid? Like, same
Yeah,
thing
you
with you.
can't reject me.
Yeah. Like,
It
who,
doesn't make
like,
sense.
and like, I know the guy you're talking about as well. And I know I told you about my guy. And I feel like
Yeah.
both of them were the quote unquote nice guy. Like, how could you not
Mm-hmm.
like them? They do everything right. They say please and thank you. older women love them. And I think that it's even worse when the nice guy does it.
It's worse. And it makes us feel like in my situation, I just felt like he was just plotting on me. And I didn't really realize it until like after it was done how bad it was, because he came to me during such a vulnerable time, but then like was asking things of me that I could not give because I was in that vulnerable time.
Yeah.
And then was upset like, but I'm being upfront, you know? And so after I told him we wouldn't be friends anymore, um I still was hanging out with his friend who came to the house, and we'll call him Lamar.
Uh-huh.
And so
Lamar.
Lamar used to come to the house, chill. We would like just talk and just have real conversations about life experiences and stuff. And he actually started coming over to hang out with my best friend, but then it just got to be where me and him were having conversations. And then I remember calling Queen being like, man, I like him. Like, I know I should not like him, but I do, and it was a problem. And so Lamar and I ended up having a conversation about it. And like, we knew it was going to be some kind of weird dynamic. And so he was going to have a conversation with Brad, is the other guy that will.
The guy, so wait, so just to clarify, because maybe
Yeah,
people will get confused, the guy we've been talking about this entire time from your story, we're going to
it's
call
Brad.
Brad. And then you started talking to a new guy,
Lamar.
and we'll call him Lamar. Okay, continue.
So as soon as I started liking Lamar, and it was just very innocent, just conversations, just talks, just really getting to know each other and stuff. I knew that it was going to be an issue because Brad was so sensitive. But like I reached out to our mutual male friends who was privy to all this information. And so I came to him and I was like, hey, I like somebody I kind of shouldn't like, and I'm trying to see how to move. Like, should I have this conversation with Brad? Should I back off of this situation? Because it's still not really that serious. Like, I could just back out of here. And he was just like, we're all grown. Live your life. Like, I don't really like it or whatever. Like, like I could see him Brad being really upset about it, but I think y'all grown, and if you like him and you think it's something worth pursuing, you should pursue it. But also, it's not your place to have that conversation with Brad. This is a conversation between men. You just an ex. And so that really led us to have a conversation about why men feel like they can X me out of a situation and I can't speak on myself. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't feel like, I just feel like, how can you tell me that these two individuals I'm the reason for a situation, and these two other individuals they're in a better position to speak on me, which makes no sense to me. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. So
I get it from that standpoint as well. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah. I get that. Like you should be involved in the conversation that is about you and your business and who you are talking to. But at the same time, did Lamar talk to Brad before he realized he also had feelings for you?
Right. And so they had conversations, but Lamar said Brad would just be like, it wasn't that serious. So
you and him.
It wasn't that serious. Everybody was under the impression that it just wasn't that serious, but I guess he wasn't really upfront about his feelings.
It wasn't that serious. It wasn't.
It wasn't like serious. It wasn't. But my thing is, like, I think it's fine to have a conversation with your friend like beforehand. Like, I've done that with my friends and we've been fine. Like, they've gone on to have like really good relationships like with people who I had been with previously, but I don't feel ownership over people. And then also, I can handle the truth. You have to be able to handle the truth if you want people to come to you with the truth. You know what I mean? So,
girl,
it's just weird.
I don't even you have to talk about that one, because when you said that the other
real,
I don't know. And it's weird because, like, is it ownership over the other person? Like, if you've had a full relationship with someone and
that's different.
So let's say so
that's completely different. What I'm saying is, sometimes men will lay their eyes on you. Sometimes they'll get your phone number. Y'all will talk for a little while. You'll know it's not rocking. Y'all didn't even have a chance to build anything. In our cases, we didn't even really make memories with these people. You know what I mean? Not romantic memories. And they still feel like, you have to speak on me. You need clearance to talk to this person. You feel what I'm saying? It's different if like you were with somebody like in our even for a substantial amount of time that y'all had like really good times, y'all built something, you had a foundation. You're like, well, this is nothing. Like it really was not serious.
Okay, so if I have not had, just to clarify, so
Yeah.
if I have been talking to someone for maybe like 3 months, and like in my case, so the guy I was talking to, well,
Yeah.
we had something romantic. It was like a romantic thing. And let's
Mm-hmm.
say you then come and say, he comes and starts talking to you, and he's like, I think I like Amber. And then you're like, oh, I think I like him too. Would I be
Mm-hmm.
wrong then to feel some type of way if you and him pursue a romantic thing?
I don't think that you're wrong for feeling any type of way. I don't think Brad's wrong for feeling any type of way. I think the way that you act on it dictates hey, how wrong it is. You know what I mean? It's like your feelings are yours and they're valid. But
Yeah.
if you're standing in the way of somebody else's happiness, if you're also overstepping somebody's boundaries that they have clearly put down, you're a problem. Like, and it was really hard for me because I was going through a situation like that, and I approached it in a completely different way. So it was just like, and I was in a place to feel more entitled in my situation than he was. So it was just like a slap in the face to me for you to feel like you can just keep me in this little box in your mind, especially when I'm
Yeah.
telling you from day one it's not working. So it's different if we just were in love. Having this like storybook romance type of shit. But it wasn't like that. So it's just like, what's really the issue here? The issue is you don't even want to think about your friend getting further with me than you did.
Got it.
That's what it really is, you
And
know?
also the way you were feeling about him, like you were just like, I didn't like you that much. He clearly liked you more than you liked him, but you did not like him that
But the
much.
thing is, he didn't like me. He liked his idea of me. And that's what he was attached to. So the
Mhm.
reason why we would get into arguments and things like that is because we would butt heads about things like, I'm not the type of woman that you can put me in my place and things like that. And you shouldn't feel that you have to do that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just not that type of person. Either I'm for you or I'm not. I'm very matter of fact. But I'm sweet. You know what I mean? But it just, we would argue about my character traits. And if we're arguing about my character traits, why are we here? Like we were having so many arguments. I don't argue like that in relationships, period. But we're not even in a relationship and we arguing. For what? Like, we don't even have time to build anything good because we don't even line up our key principles. I remember it was a few things that he said to me that made me know that we weren't on the same page and that he thought about womanhood in a way that was problematic. The first, the
I
first
wish I could have
thing,
recorded the way your face looked when you said
girl,
problematic.
I am feeling it in my spirit. And so, the first thing was when we first started talking, he told me if this works out, we can be a power couple like the Clintons or the Kennedys.
Okay, wait, because I definitely remember you saying that, and I was like who?
Think
Like
about those women
what?
in that situation and think
Like
about those men.
I
We're not
am.
going to talk about this. We're going to move forward. Second thing
Okay.
he said to me, the second thing he said to me is,
But do you think that like he wasn't thinking that deep into it? Like he really thinks the Clintons that
baby, think about it a little bit. Think about it a
like
little bit and you will know.
he probably thought that like the Clintons and the Kennedys were, and I'm just
I
surprised
need
that like
somebody who's thinking about it deeper, baby.
I feel like
Thinking
when
about
black
it.
people say power couple though, they immediately say Beyonce and Jay-Z
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
or Barack and Michelle. Like those are literally the
Bro.
two power black couple.
And he black, okay?
He is
He
black,
is
so why?
black.
Okay.
Girl, he picked okay, so anyway, the next thing is I was going through it really bad. I was having a very hard time with my son's father. Um, and I was kind of uneasy. And I remember him telling me, if something happens to you, you can rest assured knowing that you will be avenged. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean to me if I'm dead though? Like, how is that supposed to make me feel better?
Yeah.
That's
What?
something to feed your ego. You know what I mean? And I know we're off on a little tangent, but I'm just giving y'all a little background about what I was dealing with. And this was just not for me, okay? Like, this is just not, it was not for me. So,
I,
okay, now back to the story. So I told our mutual friends what
wait,
happened.
I forgot that we had gotten off on a completely
Girl, you asked
different
me some
tangent.
questions, but
Sorry.
we're coming back. So this I'm about to wrap this up real quick. So I told my mutual friend, he said, you know what? That's for Lamar to have that conversation. So we're gonna leave that to him. He just needs to sit down and have that conversation. So I'm like, okay, cool. 2 weeks later, I found out this mutual friend went and ran and told my business.
Girl,
Not even to Brad, but to some other guy that they're friends with. And everybody's up in arms.
oh, okay.
So he blew up my spot, and he didn't even tell about the conversation. He basically was just like, Lamar is fake. He's trying to talk to Amber behind Brad's back. And that's what was going around the friend group. So I'm like, wow, trying to do damage control because it just wasn't like that. And this is all because I said I had a crush on somebody. This is all because I said I like somebody, like regular human nature.
So at this point, you had never even said like, "Hey, me and Lamar are dating." Like you just said,
No, we weren't even dating. We just like to be around each other, just having conversations and stuff. And so it ended up getting back to Brad, and I had to have a conversation. I thought about having a conversation with him, but I'm so glad I did not. Um but it did lead me to have several different conversations with men in my life that I really respect and I still do, that I thought were really progressive, and they are in a lot of ways, but they all have this mentality of like, I can't cross out my brother because like it doesn't matter if they talk for a day. It doesn't matter if he had a crush on this woman. It doesn't matter if he never had a chance with this woman in his life and she would be perfect for me. Like I would not talk to her because that would be me taking his chance. That would be me getting in his spot. That would be me stepping on his toes. And I
I
said,
feel
okay,
like men definitely do that all the time, though. Like literally, bro code is something serious.
bruh.
Bro code will never be broken, and like I can definitely say, I've been friends with guys for like a long time in my life. Like I have a lot of
Yeah.
male friendships,
Hmm.
and I don't think I will ever come before bro code.
Never.
I
I
never
knew.
will.
That's something I said. Like I knew in my situation it was a strong possibility when I told him that he could run back and tell, even though I feel like I'm the closest person to him in the friend group, because there are things that I know about this mutual friend that nobody knows. But that's neither here nor there. So it really made me feel some type of way because everybody, it was a running joke for a long time how the situation between me and Brad was really not that serious and he was being very sensitive, but his friends wouldn't communicate that to him. And then also it was a running joke because I saw Brad and their mutual friends disrespect women when we were talking. So like there was a situation where a woman bought an expensive gift for Brad and he decided to just ghost her because he felt like it was too uncomfortable to tell her, I'm talking to somebody, this and that. So he just ghosted her. Even after we talked about it, he asked me for advice. He just ghosted her anyway. And then there was another situation where he and another one of his mutual friends did talk to the same girl. And he was kind of in the same situation, like a similar situation as he was with me. So he was very close to this woman. And he ended up disclosing some personal information about things that happened between them to his friend who was trying to talk to the same girl,
Oh,
but wouldn't tell her that he told. So his friend could play like this mind game of like, she should just tell me the truth unprovoked. I'm just gonna keep asking her the same questions over and over again. And I thought that was really messed up because you can't demand the truth and you can't demand respect that you're not willing to give out. Like you're very
yes.
self-righteous. And that's why I was like, I know a lot of y'all thought listening to this that I was a city girl, and maybe I am. But at least I could stand on it. You know what I mean? At least I could tell the truth. It's just like I can't hold you to a higher standard than you're willing to hold yourself. And I respected your feelings more than you respected mine. So it just was a lot. And so I started having this conversation with my mutual friends about just like how I feel like this whole situation was centered around one man's feelings that weren't even like really solidified in anything. And it just really bothered me. And so they're all still friends. So Brad and Lamar had a conversation. They're cool. All these guys, they're cool. I'm not friends with them anymore because I just felt like that was very trifling. you
Yeah.
know. And then if you're gonna do bro code, I feel like you should also handle your female friends in the same ways. Like, where is that code when you guys are trying to talk to all of our friends? Just because my friends don't bite down and your friends do, does not make it less disrespectful, you know?
Right.
So I think my main, oh well, I'll tell y'all how Brad reacted. He hates me. That's what got back to me. He came back and said that like he really hates me. He thought we were in love. I don't know how he thought that if I'm explicitly telling you this is not working, but okay. And then he just decided like I don't want to be friends with her anymore. Now that's what really pissed me off because how can you not be friends with somebody who's already not friends with you? That shows you don't respect my boundaries at all. And so it kind of made me grateful for the situation because if all I had to do was have a crush on your friend for you to feel so rocked to your core that you can never see me, you can never be around me again, good. I'm just start liking every nigga I know, friend.
I hate
If it
you.
start getting hard because they don't listen to no, so it
They don't. And you know what? They don't because in my situation, my guy did not listen. Like they just won't
no,
listen. And I forgot what you said. It'll come back to me.
yeah,
But yes, I definitely your story was very close to mine. We both had similar guys. Like I remember when we were talking about these men, we were like, that's the same guy.
it's the
That's
same
literally the
guy.
same guy. And I will double down on this because I truly believe in it. It's
Yeah,
always the nice guy.
yeah, it's the
Do
nice
not
guys,
trust
man.
the nice guy. Like, sorry, nice guys, but I'm telling you, the
Look
nice
at him a
guy,
little more closely. That's what you
yeah,
need.
look at him a little, yeah,
Yeah.
because they will hide behind that niceness, but they are
Mhm.
truly like they try to be controlling. But of course, if
Yeah.
if you can be controlled, then there's nothing that
Ah,
can
stop.
stop that,
Stop it.
because I'm not going to say if they want to control you, they can. It's false. Like some
But
people
there are
can be
also
controlled
tactics.
easily.
Yeah, some people are more controlled easily than others, or controlled
Yeah,
more easily than others. So yeah, I do
definitely.
agree with that. I just think that like my takeaway from this is like, I mean, a few things that I already said, I'm not gonna say again.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me was like, don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that they're the best choice for you if they're not. Like, and men, stop doing that. Stop gaslighting us. Because I know phrases I used to hear a lot are like, I'm a really nice guy. Like, you're
Hmm.
just not satisfied, or like you're just too hard to please, and like you don't know what you want. And what Brad used to say to me is like, you're just too smart for your own good, like you don't want this to work. And I'm like, nah, just pay attention to the signs. Like, and he used to tell me I'm a different guy. Like, even if you've been through this like 10 times before, I'm still a different person. Now what sense does that make? If I stepped in a puddle 10 times and it was wet,
I completely agree with that. And the gaslighting thing is so real. No, you're so dumb if you stepped in a puddle. I told y'all that quote is going to be on a t-shirt. But yes, like,
girl.
I didn't mention it. I don't think I mentioned it, but like, yeah, even in my situation, I remember when I had to lie and tell the guy, like, "Hey, my ex-boyfriend, thinking about getting married.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve you. You don't
You
even know
see, you
what
had
you
to bring
want out
another
of a
man.
relationship." I had to validate me leaving him because like it was like, no, I'm leaving you for
Oh
another
my
man,
God.
not because I want to leave you. Like I would
That's
never
basically, you
leave
had
you.
to say, basically, I'm going back to my other owner.
I'm
So
going back
leave
to
me
my other.
alone.
I would never leave you for no reason.
It can't just be like, I don't want to be here. It has to be like something else. It's like, silly girl, you don't really know. I'm
Yeah.
like, who knows better than me? I'm with myself all the time. I spend quality time with myself.
That
Oh
doesn't mean
Lord.
anything. But even just, I guess, just to wrap it up, like even when
Yeah.
I think back to the beginning, when I asked you, what do you think about like the word property? You
Hmm.
mentioned territory, ownership,
Hmm.
um,
Entitlement.
entitlement, and I feel like these are all themes that ring very loudly throughout each of our
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah, definitely. And
Um,
I'm just hoping for a better future. So, like, and I want to reiterate what Quee said earlier. We're not trying to bash men. If anything, we just want better outcomes for everybody. We want you guys to be able to recognize, like, these qualities and like just be
Yeah.
able to take some thoughtful consideration. And just like I told y'all, the way that men are able to point out the qualities in us when they say we act like guys that they don't like, that's really you pointing out hyper masculinity, problematic actions that you guys do that you just don't want women to do.
Mm-hmm.
Back to you,
That's
you
a
know.
quote.
So yeah, like it's just a problem when a woman does it. Like it's a problem if I come out here acting like Future and Party Next Door and Drake, but y'all could do it. Like
I'm okay with Future and Party Next Door and Drake doing it because they are upfront with it.
mm-hmm. Girl.
Just don't try to like, I don't even know. Does Omarion act problematic? I'm gonna say don't try to pretend you're Omarion, but you really 50 Cent behind closed doors.
Exactly. Or I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Okay. Tell me after this.
I
what you
will,
gonna
I will,
say.
I will. Y'all, if y'all ask in the comment section, I might slide in your DMs.
With that being said, please make sure that you are following at QT with the pod, and we are going to pose some questions, of course. So, what did you think of these situations we post? Is it really the nice guy that's always the worst guy? Do men ever feel like they have ownership over women? Are we just lying right now? Are we making all of this up?
Are we silly women?
Right. Are we just silly women? If not, tell us about a time a man felt like he had ownership over you. So yeah, those are the things I'm feeling right now. Do you want to add any other, like, I guess, lasting questions or thoughts that people can leave in the comments?
I just want to reiterate something else that you said. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts.
Oh,
We said this, yeah, in a previous episode. Please trust yourself. If it doesn't feel right, don't force it. Ever. We don't force anything around here. If it's not what you want, don't force it. If you have to really work really, really hard to make something work, it's not supposed to be hard. Relationships are supposed to work, and then you'll have hurdles that you'll jump. You shouldn't be jumping hurdles all the time unless you run track, baby.
You shouldn't jump hurdles from the get-go. Like as soon as
No.
No, but yes, please trust your gut. I
Pay
stand
attention to
by
red
that.
flags.
I stand by it. Pay attention to red flags. And if you don't know how to identify red flag, please make sure that you identify the closest homegirl to you and talk through them with her, and she will help you identify said red flags. That is what Amber and I do together.
Mm-hmm. Fall in our DMs. We'll help you, and we'll keep you anonymous.
Exactly. With that being said, we wish you a happy, happy day, and goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.